These Duke basketball freshmen are heating up, and it's at the perfect time.
You are Locked On Blue Devils, your daily podcast on the Duke Blue Devils. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everybody, and welcome on into another episode of the Locked On Blue Devils podcast. My name is JJ Jackson. It's so great to have you here with us today on Thursday, January 16th, 2025. Locked On Blue Devils is your one-stop shop where we discuss everything going on in the life of Duke athletics. On today's show, we've got our buddy Pablo Cong, who's back with us once again. We're going to be talking about this Duke basketball team and the freshmen that are heating up as of late. Cooper Flagg, Kon Knueppel, Khaman Maluach, all three of them stepping into bigger roles over the last few weeks. You can even throw someone like Isaiah Evans and more run now for Pat Ngongba. Darren Harris got to play a little bit the other night. So a lot to discuss in the world of Duke basketball freshmen, and we'll do that throughout the course of today's show. If you have not done so already, please be sure to follow and subscribe to Locked On Blue Devils for free wherever it is that you get your podcast. Leave us a 5-star rating and written review. Also, watch our show each and every day on YouTube. A special shout out to our everydayers out there who are supporting Locked On Blue Devils each and every day. We see you. Thank you so much. And subscribe to our YouTube channel as we're getting closer to 3,000 YouTube subscribers, and really appreciate all the support that you guys have given us along the way. So without further ado, let's bring him back onto the show. One of our very good friends, it's Pablo Cong, who's here with us at Coach P. Kong on X. Pablo, appreciate the time, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, JJ. Appreciate you having me as always, man. It's always a blessing to be here, brother.
No doubt. Excited to talk about this Duke team. As of late, the run that they've been on, they've now won 11 straight games. The 11-game winning streak is the longest winning streak that we've seen Duke basketball have under head coach Jon Scheyer. And hopefully there's no losses coming up anytime soon, man. Let's ride out this winning streak throughout the course of the rest of the season. Man, Duke's been playing some really good basketball as of late.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They're gelling. I think the defense speaks for itself. I think the depth, is just, the lethality of the team overall is just insane. And it's just like they're just playing on another level right now. They're not even playing like freshmen, they're playing like, 2 and 3 year, junior, sophomore type players. And it's paying dividends, man. I think also the coaching staff is really doing a good job of just keeping this together, man, and keeping this train moving forward.
So much of the load this season has been carried by freshmen, and that's why the focus of today's conversation, I wanted to kind of lock in on those freshmen who are heating up at the right time. Another game coming up on Saturday at Boston College, but when you look at what Cooper Flagg has done game in and game out, man, oh man, he just keeps getting better and better, and it's hard to even say that for a guy that we knew going into the year, before he ever put on that Duke uniform, this guy's one and done. This guy's the likely number one overall pick in next year's draft. He had already played with the select team, for Team USA ahead of the Olympics going through the course of the summer. And here we are in a world in which, man, he just continues to get better.
Yeah, I mean, it's a reason why I got a Cooper Flagg jersey on. You know what I'm saying? Like, the kid is amazing, man. To be so young and to just do what he do is absolutely incredible. I think he's getting comfortable. And that's a problem for the rest of the NCAA. So I think he's just going to continue to improve. And I think, like I said, the coaching staff is really doing a good job of bringing him along, you know what I mean? Making him, understand his role and just, push him forward in the offense. And, you're absolutely right, JJ. He is definitely going to be the number one pick in the NBA draft, this upcoming NBA draft.
He's shooting over 50% from three-point range in ACC games this season, which is just crazy because to start the year, he's in the low 20s, and all of a sudden he's really ramped it up a good bit. So impressive to see what Cooper Flagg's been able to do, and Duke's needed him to kind of step up in that regard. He's got 42 points in the Notre Dame game, sets the ACC freshman scoring record. He had the highlight dunk over Pitt. I mean, he's living up to the hype, which is crazy to even think about. We've known about him for quite some time because we're ball knowers and things like that. And I want to shout out the everydayers within the community who follow Duke basketball closely. But what's been so cool to see over these last few weeks is now he truly is becoming more of a household name, and more people are getting to talk about Cooper Flagg and the player that he is, because he's been put on such a pedestal as of late, given how well he's playing. He's earned it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the kid is just, I said before, the kid is incredible. His mentality and drive. I'd really like to know what drives this kid because, he just continues to get better and better. You know what I mean? I think he's answering all the questions that everybody had about him. Can he shoot? Can he play make? Can he defend in college? Is he tough enough or whatever? All those questions are being answered. And he's answering them in a big way. So he might be out to prove something, man. And it's gonna be fun to watch, man. Like everything's going on so far it's just been a joy, man, for Duke basketball. And I just hope he keeps putting his foot forward and just leading his team to a national championship.
Little does he know, he doesn't have to prove much at all. He's already kind of the chosen one, so to speak, when we look at this next year's draft class and what's next for him in the basketball world. But so excited to see him playing the way that he is. Hopefully he can continue the strong run, and Duke can be the benefit of that. Also heating up is Kon Knueppel. I want to tip my cap to our guys over at Duke Report, Freddie and Josh, who put this number out there. I saw a little bit earlier. In 6 games in December, Kon Knueppel was averaging 11 points per game on 30% shooting from 3. In the first 4 games in January, he's now averaging 17 points per game and up to 50% shooting from 3 over the last 4 games. Really impressive stuff from Kon Knueppel, who, look, that's a typical shooter. When I hear that, Pablo, right? The highs and lows, you're going to ride them all throughout the course of the season. But, man, we're in a good spot right now with Kon Knueppel, and that's awesome to see, fresh off a 25-point performance against Miami.
Yeah, no, I mean that's another guy on the team that's plays a critical part of what we do on offense and on defense, as a matter of fact. But the one thing about Khan is that we know what he was before, being in the basketball game for a while, seen him play and kind of knew what he was, and it was kind of odd to see him struggle a little bit, but it's also college, so I knew that he had to adjust to some things, and like I said, with Cooper Flagg, he's getting comfortable, you know what I mean, and that's trouble for everybody else. So I think that shot is falling. When that shot is falling, he's always going to be a playmaker. When that shot is falling, though, man, look out, man. I like that. I like what he's doing, and the thing about him too is I think John is probably telling him like, hey, keep shooting the ball, keep shooting the ball. You know what I mean? Confidence is one thing, but when you got the backing of your coach and everybody else around you, that could push you to another level. And I think that's what we're seeing.
And still speaking to Kon Knueppel specifically with the shot coming along and being able to shoot it so well from the outside, again, 6 for 8 in the Miami game. I mean, the dude was on a heater for sure. We already saw a 6 3-point made game from Isaiah Evans earlier in the year against Auburn, and now Kon Knueppel's got his against Miami. He's still been asked to play so many minutes, and still able to carry such a big load. It's been awesome to see him able to do that so successfully.
And the kid he's built for it, JJ. The kid is super mature. He's just doing everything he needs to do to stay on the floor, and he's a critical component to what they like to do. So, they don't want to take him off the floor, and I think he understands that he's going to play a lot of minutes. So, he's in shape for it, and it's paying dividends big time for Duke, man. And I think he's just going to keep continue to put his foot forward as well, and it's going to be really good for Duke.
Freshmen playing good basketball at the right time of year. That's kind of the name of the game, and we want to see that continue for this Duke basketball team. We've got other guys to highlight after we take this next time out here on today's show. All right, Locked On Blue Devils here today is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. From the first whistle to the final drive, FanDuel makes the NFL playoffs even more exciting. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win your first bet. That's $300 to keep the action going. This is a major, major deal that we've got going into the NFL playoffs. The FanDuel app is so easy to navigate, and the variety of bets keeps you watching every game. Exciting. Plus, when you win, you get paid instantly. No waiting around for your winnings. Whether you're betting on your favorite team or just looking to add some extra excitement to the playoffs, FanDuel has you covered. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today and get started with $300 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Make the playoff season unforgettable with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL and a proud sponsor of Locked On Blue Devils. Okay, so we keep this train rolling. We're talking Duke basketball. He's Pablo Cong. I'm JJ Jackson, and we're talking about the run that the freshmen are on as of late. How about Man, the big fella, getting more and more comfortable? Not only does Cooper Flagg have a career-high 42 points against Notre Dame. Maluach had a career-high 19 points in that game. Then he's got a career-high 15 rebounds earlier in the week against Miami. He's, out switching, guarding the guards that we saw in the Pitt game. He's out on the perimeter. I mean, man, he gets more and more comfortable both ends of the floor for Maluach.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right, JJ. I think, what we're seeing with Khaman is just a product of, how good John is at evaluating certain things and, bringing him along slowly. And now we're seeing other things. So I think as fans, we want to see the traditional, throw the ball inside, let him post up type thing. But I just don't know if he's ready for all that right now. So what we're seeing is them getting him involved in other ways in the offense, him offensive rebounds and a lot of stuff on the move for him, where they're throwing the ball up and he's just dunking it. And I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly okay. As long as the ball keeps going in, JJ, I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? If he's missing, that's a different story. But I think John is doing a masterful job with Khaman, and it's really looking good for Duke, man. And his defense is absolutely marvelous. You know what I mean? He's intimidating everybody. They don't even want to go to the rim. You know what I mean? And it's not so much he's not really blocking a ton of shots, but boy, is he altering a lot of them. You know what I mean? You think. And I mean, you can't go wrong with that. You know what I mean? So Khaman, salute, tip your hat to Khaman and his patience, in the offense, because he could complain and cry about it. He's not getting the ball or whatever, but it's like they're making a concerted effort now to get him that ball, in different ways. And, they're being, they're not doing it in traditional ways. So, we're seeing a good thing out there, JJ.
Well, I know you've noted this before, and I'm right there with you. But I mean, look at what Duke does to start every single game. I mean, it's very early in the game. We're seeing sets where Duke just wants to throw the ball to the rim. Against Notre Dame, it was a successful lob. This earlier in the week against Miami, they wanted to run the exact same thing. Miami was ready for it. So Kon Knueppel gets a drive with an easy finish using his left hand. And then the very next possession, Duke's like, all right, you stopped us on the first possession. We'll just run it again. And next thing you know, you throw it at the rim and Maluach throws it down.
Yeah, and I think that's the good part of having the guys that we have on our team, because guys like Flagg and Kon, they have so much gravity that they're going to command, not only the primary defender on them, they're going to have other guys helping off of them.
Yeah.
That's going to leave some other guys open. And then, these guys are willing passers, so they're giving it up to the right person. That's Khaman, and they're just throwing the ball up, and, he's doing the rest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's working out for us.
Boy, we were sharing the ball against Miami. A season-high 25 assists on the day. Sion James had 5 of them. Tyrese Proctor doesn't score in the game against the Hurricanes, but he was pivotal in kind of the ball movement that we saw. We saw 4 assists from Caleb Foster. I mean, all the guards know that sharing the basketball is key to so much of the success that Duke's had. They made so many three-point shots, but also had a lot of good looks right there at the rim with easy finishes. And that kind of starts with the ball movement that we've seen.
Yeah, no, like I said, the really very, very, very unselfish team. The guards understand their role, and if they're not making shots, they're setting other people up to make shots. So, that's as good as making a shot. You know what I mean? So I'm not mad at that at all. Tyrese is obviously a pivotal player in our offense, and he does things that some other players don't really do. So I'm okay with him not having a big scoring night if we're winning by 20 plus. So I'm good with that.
All right, so I want to talk to the freshmen heating up, continuing that thought there. We've already talked about a couple of them, and Isaiah Evans makes a couple of more three-pointers against Miami. He had a couple of games in a row there where the shot wasn't there from the outside, or quite frankly, he just wasn't playing as much as he had been over the last few weeks. He got a good bit of run against Miami. He made the most of it, able to knock down those shots from the outside, and that's been awesome to see as well. Pablo, he's rebounding the ball a little bit better over the last few weeks, I've noticed, from Slim specifically, and always, he's a weapon out there when he's shooting three-pointers.
The biggest wild card in college basketball, is what Isaiah Evans is. So, salute to him, man. Him and his mental toughness and just being able to endure everything he's been through this year, not playing to playing a little bit to playing a lot. It's just, it's kind of like, it's all over the place for him. And he comes in, he does the same thing, and that just is such a spark for Duke, man. And if he continues to play the way he's been playing, JJ, I'm telling you, man, it's national championship year.
Yeah, he's going to earn more minutes. He's absolutely going to earn more minutes if he does that. If Duke continues to shoot it the way they have as of late. I mean, we've got a game where, Mason Gillis knocks down 4 3-pointers. It's just scary, the weapons that Duke has. But locking in on those freshmen in particular and talking about Isaiah Evans himself, Defense was something that we heard a lot about, was one of the bigger reasons why he wasn't playing as much, right? And early on in the season, you call him a big wild card there. And when we look at what he can do offensively, that's great. But we know Duke has been one of the best defenses in all of college basketball this entire season. If Isaiah Evans wants to play, he's going to have to continue to bring it on the defensive end of the floor. And it looks like, practice and actually getting in the game is the best experience as the best teacher. You're getting more of that out of Isaiah Evans on the defensive end.
Absolutely. I know he's worked hard and diligently with some of the coaches, on his defense, and it's paying off, you know what I mean? Because it's not like he can't play defense. I think it's just a matter of just the understanding portion that he kind of needed to, shore up a little bit, because he's got the quick feet to do it. He's got the length, he's got the mentality and the attitude. So he just had to put it all together. And I think, I think we're seeing a good product out there now. I mean, I've seen a couple games where, it's been some really, really good closeouts by him where he's kind of shot faked and he's kind of out of the play and he recovers so quick. And I'm just like, man, that's exactly what we need to see from him. So if he continues to do that, JJ, he's gonna, like I said, he's gonna win us a ball game in March.
No doubt. No doubt. And we can't wait for that game to happen when he does that. So speaking of more freshmen, we've got Big Pat, who's coming on as of late. Obviously, Duke's dealing with the Malik Brown injury situation right now, so they're going to be without him for a couple of games. But that means we've seen more run for Patrick Ngongba II. He scores 4 points and 5 rebounds against Miami. He's out there for 18 minutes. His workload has continued to increase throughout the course of the year, and he appears to be getting more and more comfortable.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Definitely getting more comfortable. And if he continues to do what he do, I mean, even when Malik comes back, he might, stay in that rotation a little bit. The thing about Patrick is he's got, very soft hands. He catches everything. It's just a matter of just finishing stuff now, I mean, at this point. So, but like it's kind of tough for a player that like didn't play like kind of like at all. And then now he's thrust into this role. So he's probably going through trying to get adapted to the speed and the pace of the game. But once he gets that down, that's just another weapon for Duke. And it's just amazing that how many guys we could just go down the line and talk about and like how many weapons they actually have. Like we could probably do this podcast till tomorrow, just talking about the weapons. So yeah, Big Pat, man, salute to him. And I think he's a great addition to the team.
Without a doubt. I think also just continuing to be aggressive and assertive is going to be big for everybody on this team, not passing up those opportunities. We call him Big Pat for a reason, right? He's a big fella. Like use your body, use your strength to your advantage. And when you catch the ball, go up strong and finish. I mean, you and I are just guys on the couch watching these games play out. But in some ways, it feels like if we were blessed with that frame from so many of these guys, it just feels like, you know what, go ahead and do this. Be aggressive, go up and make these shots.
Yeah. That's exactly what he needs to do. I think in the game, he kind of, had a jump hook in the lane, which is, put his body into people. And he's a big guy. So like you said, he has to use his body. And, we expect him to finish around the rim. So he just got to keep doing that. He's not the most athletic player, but his touch and his basketball IQ is very high. So it's like, hey, he's a good plug and play player for us, even with Malik out. I mean, we don't expect him to, do like some wonderful stuff on defense, but we just expect them to be solid for sure. Grab rebounds and put the ball in the basket when you're close to the rim and somebody gives it to you. You know what I mean? So yeah, we're gonna be good, man. I'm confident that
there's a
he'll
reason
hold it
he's a
down.
scholarship player at Duke, right?
100%, 100%,
Yeah,
100%.
no doubt about that. The freshmen are heating up. It's been awesome to see. Duke's back in action, taking on Boston College this weekend. We'll get a preview of that and talk a little bit more about Duke basketball after this break. All right, here today on Locked On Blue Devils, want to tell you about our friends over at PrizePicks, as PrizePicks is the place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions in winnings, PrizePicks has changed the game in daily fantasy sports. Whether it's the playoffs or regular season, PrizePicks has made it easier than ever to win big while enjoying all the football action. Now it's playoff time, and there's no better way to get in on the action than with PrizePicks. Here's how it works. You simply pick more or less on at least 2 players, and if your picks hit, you could win up to 1,000 times your cash. That's right, 1,000 times your money just by making a few simple picks. Playoffs coming up this weekend, and for me, I'm all about the hot takes this season. And on PrizePicks this weekend in the AFC playoffs, I'm looking at Lamar Jackson for more than 250 passing yards. He and I share the same last name after all, so feel like that's a good one there. And Travis Kelce against the Texans, give me Kelce for more than 70 receiving yards. It's fun to predict and easy to play. Plus, with PrizePicks Flex Play, you could still double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. And with the app, you get your winnings fast, sometimes in as little as 15 minutes. Ready to run your game this football season? Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONCollege to get $50 off instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's right, $50 just for playing. That's it. Just wait. Take your game to the next level with PrizePicks. PrizePicks, run your game, a proud sponsor of Locked On Blue Devils. Okay, we're back in action. Duke basketball will be back in action on Saturday night. A late start at Boston College, 8 p.m. Eastern tip-off following those NFL games set to be played this weekend. We'll be able to see the Blue Devils go up against Boston College, an inferior Boston College team in a struggling ACC. I think the most impressive thing about what Duke did against Miami earlier this week, Pablo, is that they didn't let Miami hang around at all, right? They threw the first punch. There was no let up after that for the rest of the entire game. And against a team like Boston College, as we've already discussed this week, the ESPN Analytics and the Basketball Power Index give the Eagles a less than 3% chance to even win this game. If you're Duke, just the most important thing is take care of business, knock them out. Don't let a team like this hang around.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think this is the Duke that we want to see. We want to see the Duke team that starts fast, not just us, as fans, but the coaching staff. That's what they want to see, and the players probably as well. They want to start fast. They want to keep their foot on the gas. They don't want to slow up, and I think they did an excellent job when they played Miami of just from start to finish, just taking it to Miami. So I'm very, very, very happy and proud for those guys and what they're able to accomplish. And just the next game, do the same thing to Boston College and just everything moving forward. Let's just keep that same mentality and let's just keep doing that.
Is it easy to worry about getting bored a little bit? That's what I keep saying. 7-0 in ACC play. So many of these games have been won by 20 plus points. I think it's a Duke basketball team made up of players with a whole lot of pride. Just human nature, though, Pablo. We know it. Sometimes it's so easy to take a little break when you got an opportunity like that.
Yeah, I think it's easier for us as fans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the competitors, the guys that's on the court, those are the guys that they're dealing with the adrenaline and everything else. So as far as getting bored, I don't really see this team getting bored because they're such a competitive team, man. And that's what I like the most about this team is that like 1 through 5, everybody's competitive. We don't have to worry about anybody, taking plays off and just sandbagging. These guys all want to play and they're playing for each other. You know what I mean? And that's the biggest thing. So I don't think we got to worry about that. I think they want to do some historic stuff. I think they probably already talked about it and that's their goal. And I think that's what we're going to see.
Yeah, starting 5 set the tone against Miami. Also against Miami, Duke comes away with 34 bench points, one of the best performances off the bench that Duke has had this whole season. You had 12 from Mason Gillis. Isaiah Evans had 8. Caleb Foster had 9. Talking to that bench specifically, that's going to be so crucial and critical in the games to come if they're able to kind of pack their punch and deliver when their number is called on, when they're out there on the floor. Wow, watch out for the rest of this basketball world.
Yeah, for sure. I really don't know how you beat this Duke team if everything is clicking like that. You know what I mean? Now, unfortunately, the way basketball works, it doesn't always, always work like that. But if it is working like that, then good luck. You know what I'm saying? If you're playing Duke, because you're going to have a tough game ahead of you. So, obviously in basketball, bench scoring points is crucial. It's crucial. You know what I mean? Because sometimes maybe the starters aren't playing well. And even if they are playing well, they can stretch that lead out even more. And the starters don't have to do as much when they come back in or whatever. So I just love the rotations that Jon got going on, man. Like, I think it's really good. I think he's doing a great job of managing this team. And I think the players are receptive to they're accepting their roles now, and they're able to just go out there and just perform. And we're seeing the byproduct of what Jon is doing with his team.
No doubt. Let's see the Duke team keep it going, keep piling on, and we'll see how it goes against Boston College coming up on Saturday. Pablo, it's always great to see you, man. Love when you get the chance to come here on the podcast. How can people support you, promote all your work, and how they can get plugged in with what you got going on?
Yeah, you can check me out on Twitter, on X or whatever it's called, at Coach P Kong. Also, my other account, my scouting account is at Acumen Scouting Group. I have a new website coming out soon, and probably within the next week, it'll be acumenscoutinggroup.com. You can check me out on the 5 Point Fam. We do the podcast over there. We got the Twitter handle over there. Same thing, 5 Point Play Podcast. And you can pretty much see me everywhere, man. I'm all over the place, JJ.
We love it. We love it. Well, thanks for the time today, Pablo. We'll do it again soon, okay?
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right, that's Pablo Cong joining us here on today's episode of Locked On Blue Devils. Always appreciate his time, his thoughts, his analysis with the Duke basketball team. Man, I'm excited, fired up, ready to see Duke go for their 12th win in a row, their 8th win of ACC play coming up on Saturday when they take on Boston College. That'll do it for today's show. As always, go Duke. I'll talk to you soon. My name is JJ Jackson. Thank you and good day.